cable, I'm the real MC. I got a solid metal daggone jacket on me. I got a slick plastic sheath to protect my 3 C's. Don't you ever confuse me with an NM, please. Cause unlike it, I'm like a super upgrade. You couldn't bust up my wires, even with a grenade. In a bad environment, all NM's wires getting bent. Gotta hide behind a wall to avoid a spark event. Sheesh. Yo, I'll tell you. But with your boy MC, you stay safe on G. I'm the best method ever for your electricity. You won't end up dead with a zap from a shred. Plus I always can be found with some fine redheads. Peace.
What's up, dudes? In the garage here, and it's a little dark. Got these 2 little lights here that don't really light up the room very much. There is the option to take and press these guys. The garage door lights add a little bit more light, but that's not enough for me. So what I think I'm gonna do is go up to this light right here and use a junction box extender to kind of pop that thing down a little bit, and then I'm going to be able to run some power, you know, down across here, ladder to right here in the center of the room. And I'm going to be installing this old chandelier thing. Yeah, I think it's a little extra, but that's kind of why I did it. It was gold or brass, and I've spray painted it crappily black, and that will be good for working at my workbench here and make it a little less scary for walking in the garage. Let's get in here and do some stuff. And I'm using MC cable here because it's so extra. And it's a garage. I figure I'm putting my ladder up there, might whack it, I don't know. It just seems safer. I didn't want to run, you know, white Romex cable on the ceiling. I think that might look just junky, so we're gonna try this junk out. Metal-Clad cable is what it's called. MC cable. I did not purchase any special tools to do this terminations, but you can if you want. There is a million videos on how to install MC cable. You got to get your tip correctly snipped so it doesn't cut your wires. Let's give it a try. Take some locking pliers. These are super wimpy, but I'm going to see how far they can go. It's pretty close. So you got to go check out the spiral on these and turn the right way so you can bust it. Ah, there it goes. I mean, basically you probably could have done this with just some cutters. Take your diagonal cutters, don't slice your wires off. Oh, this is harder than I thought. Looked easier on the other videos. I think the most important thing is to remember there is wires in here, so you can't cut them. Wow. Making a massacre of this. Like right on the very end here. There we go. Okay. I think I did it. There you go. Make sure this is kind of tidied up. Okay. The other thing you gotta buy are red bushing. They're called anti-short bushings, and you make sure you get them for the right wire size. Put that little guy, snap it over your wire. Stuff. Oh, you snapped it onto the ground. Snap it over your wire. Stick it down into there, and that just protects these sharp edges from getting on there. And then you can take your the plastic and stick it down through that little
through the channel on there. And then, if you're crazy like me, you're just gonna tape the crap out of it. Because this thing moves. I don't like that. I want it to not move. Right? Over taping, yes! Absolute overkill. It's for big chandeliers. Okay, that's not outside of the realm of, you know, what I'm doing here. Let me in. Terrible undersized tool. Oh. These are nice. Screws. Oh, it's got a knockout box. But I don't think that's compatible with what I'm using, so whatever. Okay. For the connectors themselves, there's about these little combination connectors and make sure they need to say MC for Metal-Clad. Be the right size for your wires. But yeah, they're just a regular snap ring. But you can't use the normal kind. You have to use the kinds that's rated for this. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hassle, but here we are.
garage lighting project number 2 is here, where I have another light, but I have this closet that is very dark, and I have kind of terribly rigged up a floodlight in here to use. And what I'd like to do is similar to the other side. I'm not going to use the light because I don't want this light to turn on with the rest of the lights in the garage. I'm going to set this guy up on a pull string so I can turn it on and off manually when I walk in here. But this time I'm going to come off of that electrical box using an extender. So it kind of comes down a little bit. And come over here, add an outlet on the outside of this wall for this TV. Drill through the side here. Oh, you can't see anything in this thing, but put another electrical, put another electrical light, and hopefully that'll give me some more light in that room.
The old receptacle was a Eagle made in USA receptacle, which I do like. They're throughout my entire house, but it had the stab-in connections, which are problematic. Watch any video on that. So, I don't know, for a 30-year-old receptacle, let's just replace it. So I have 4 wires in that box. 2 of those are incoming and 2 of those are going down to the downstream receptacles, right? What I'm doing is creating a T here, and I still want that power to go to the downstream receptacles, but I also want it to now go out to this other receptacle switch light combination that I'm adding. So what I'm planning on doing is having the incoming power hit these terminals here. I'm going to take a pigtail and stick it on these terminals, so that would be the outgoing to the other receptacles. And then I'm just going to take that pigtail, and that will allow me to put the pigtail wires, the outgoing wires, and the new tap wires out. And we'll just wire up those together and everything will be good. This thing will be powered up the same as it's doing before. It will be powering those receptacles downstream the same as it was doing before. And it will now be powering my new receptacle TV combo, whatever it is. And let's just do it.
So we have our incoming power hitting the top terminals here. We have that coming off with a pigtail to hit this and this on the hot and neutral side. And those 3 wires are going out. One's going out to my new wire. One is going out to that poorly not to code, not enough jacket on the inside of this thing wire back there, which I over tape everything all the time. And that's not to keep it safe over time. It's simply to, whenever I put it in the box, nothing rattles loose. That's the main reason I put so much tape on everything. Over time, this has to be mechanically engaged on your wires. First and foremost, you have to do a tug test, make sure it's not going to come out. The tape is simply for when you're putting it in and to annoy the next person who goes in here, which is probably potentially you.
Over here on the workbench, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to wire this guy up. What we want to do here is a 2-gang box that's going to put it on the wall, and keep in mind I'm going to have a knockout for the power wiring coming in and a knockout for the power wiring coming out to go to that light we were talking about. So how do we make it all happen here? So what we've got is a split outlet. I have terribly labeled it as a split outlet, but that means you separate the contact that bridges the gap between the neutral sides and the hot sides. So I've done that, and what that allows you to do is this would operate independently of this. And so
essentially what we want to do is have the incoming power come in, hit this guy first. Well, it actually hits this guy. Here's my neutral, here's my hot, right? So we have power coming in, hitting this. He's happy, he's on all the time. The next power comes in, goes to the switch. It could either make or break. The hot leg, you can see, comes in here, goes out to this side. The neutrals are tied together all the time, so there is always a neutral hooked up to this side of the split outlet, but we're making and breaking the hot side. So that allows us to hook up our TV that we want to turn on and turn off to save energy whenever we want by flipping this switch. And we have the hot side always. The other thing is we need to make sure we tie all the incoming power in and the outgoing power out. So that's it. It's kind of fun to do it beforehand so you don't have to. So all I got to do is basically put this guy in here. Oh wait, shoot, let me show you how I'm doing this. Crap. Had to get one of these guys. It's called a mud ring. So what it does is it snaps in. Well, let's put that side in first. Snap it in. Then we're going to stick all our junk in there. So pretend that's in there, and we can screw it in and button it up real nice. And I'll be able to put a cover on the outside here, so then it will be perfect. And a wackadoo, and a wackaloo. Leprechaun gold. Well, I guess it's silver.
Leprechaun silver.
Leprechaun silver. Where's the rainbow? But to tighten down onto the actual MC cable, it's just a screw. So that could, if you ratcheted that down, it could definitely punch a hole in your screw or your cable jacket. So look out for that, I guess. And this is gonna be on the wall like this, so I want to get these guys so I can actually reach them with the screwdriver. So those are gonna go first. I don't know, I guess we're just gonna give it old wackerino. Yep, there's one. Can you see in there? They just have these little tabs that pop out, kind of spring open. We'll connect it right there. Dude, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. I just cut this thing in two. Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. And then I took this thing and chopped it a little bit more. Here's the finished wiring. So we got all of our blacks coming in. I went ahead and used one of these terminal nuts. They're just easier to deal with. Yeah, make sure everything is nice and secure, all the ground side together. And I did wrap these outlets because you have exposed terminals here, and you have exposed, wiring or ground in here. So you're gonna make sure you get that wiring, that ground all the way to the very back and away from these terminals as much as possible. But, you also have a metal box. So, just being as careful as possible with not touching metal to those terminals. I've run this through here. Hey, it's Josh back here, and I always forget to do a final project demonstration, or if you will, and show how everything is finished up and all that stuff. I always forget to film it. And wouldn't you know that here we are 3 months past, or 3 or 4 months past the original project, and I've already messed with it some more. So we're gonna do the after the project again. So I've changed some stuff, but I still use the same skills and framework that I set in place with the, all the footage I just showed you. Plus I had some leftover wire. You got to use up that wire. So here we go. Let's flip around here. So this is where the chandelier is. I replaced it with a lamp because it gets hot as a butt in here in the garage in the summer. So got got a fan there now, and it's using that same, I had to actually, because it's a fan, I had to actually brace it between 2 joists instead of just the one with the chandelier. So yeah, we still got our same wire we put in place. It's going over there. I added some string lights just because I had them laying around. So now it's extra bright in here, and there's our chandelier. So this is the extra part of the extra piece of wire that I used before. But yeah, just did this exact same thing you saw in the video. So coming over here, this is our, outlet setup. So the reason I did this is because I have a router that runs behind this TV, and it needs to be on all the time. So that's why that's plugged into there, always hot. And this is the switched outlet. So bing, hit that. That allows Mr. TV to turn on, hit me up with some Roku action, which is using that router behind there. So yeah, that's what I use for YouTube videos and stuff. So, and then going into here, we saw the cable going through here, punch through the wall. It comes out here, goes up there, and there's our single, electrical light box outlet there. And I put a little adapter that allows me to use just 2 lights, and that's good enough for me right now. And it's on this pull chain, so I can turn it off. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you can use some of this stuff in your life. Get out there and go do some stuff.